Yeah, he is. Oh my God.
Wait, do you hear this?
Yes. Simple pleasures. We've had one of those for a long time, but it's just not.
Well, we saw that MIDI controller that you.
Yeah, it's just not that. It's not podcast. It's not podcast branded.
Well, now I mean, just everything is in this one tiny thing.
Oh, I get it. I would have bought that also had I seen it.
This thing is.
Oh, okay. Chuck got kicked out.
This thing's awesome.
Yeah, pretty exciting. I think we should try to record while we're in Vegas with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that was another reason I got it. It's portable.
Just get like a round table of ding dongs.
SD card and
Did you get my text asking which part of the week I should try to do?
Oh yeah, I mean I'm still planning to be there.
I know I just forgot.
Sunday through Thursday, the first. Okay. One, like 8 through.
I think I can be there like
or
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that.
Yeah. I apologize. I'm going to apologize for not being able to go.
Any questions?
Yes, you should do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because I made a promise and I can't hold on to that promise. So
no, we shouldn't start apologizing for that. That's a bad precedent for us to.
We need to hold on the omnipotent vibe that we never make mistakes.
Yeah. No, I like the
so much work.
Yeah. No, I like them. Yeah. I
think it's my brand.
The mistakes, the non-following through on things. No, we should not.
Okay.
Bring that to light.
Happened?
Well, my
Good
mistake
Lord, look at all
was,
that tea.
John, why?
How many times have you spilled that on all your stuff?
How many kidney stones have you passed?
Does tea give you kidney stones?
Yes.
Oh, I got
sweet tea.
That's like a rumor, isn't it?
I don't know.
This is good content. We should.
I know it's. Oh fuck! I know that. Like Cokes and stuff do. I didn't think teas did.
I thought that was a rumor too. I didn't think that was validated by science.
We should ask former listener Rudy. Fucking what's his name?
I had a high school. One of kids in high school who had kidney stones when he was in high school, and we all thought it was because he drank so much Dr. Pepper. He carried around Dr. Pepper, like a 2-liter Dr. Pepper all day. And then he had kidney stones when he was 16.
And you found out he was just a terrible alcoholic.
I know 2 people that have had kidney stones. My dad, who drank nothing but black coffee for 40 years.
Well, coffee, definitely. Coffee gives you kidney stones, cancer. Coffee's like doomsday.
No, coffee keeps you alive. That's what modern medicine says.
No.
That's what all the studies say.
I think those studies have been paid for recently.
By the Colombian bean cartel.
I'm not telling you to stop. I want you all to die.
Yeah.
And then coffee shops go out of business, and then I can finally be at peace. Although you guys aren't coffee shop people, which I admire.
No, I make my own. I'm going to see how fast I can do this
all
while
right.
we talk.
Are y'all ready?
Mm-hmm. I am.
Everybody's all set.
Do I need to record also?
Might as well.
Gotcha. Are you trying to send me something?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you just said you were. I declined it.
Oh.
So Keith Parrish is sending you a file, and I said
no.
Okay.
When I started playing music on the little toy here, I had a Zoom thing pop up that said, like, "Are you trying to play music? Would you like help?"
That's good shit.
Yeah.
That's good shit right there.
What, was it a paper clip?
I don't know what it is about like that question that makes us feel like we're finally doing things correctly, but it does.
Yeah.
It's like, are you trying to use an interface that will make your podcast better? Finally.
Yeah. I think it also makes the microphone sound a lot better because it
should have built-in preamps, etc. So it
has built-in so many things. Yeah.
Like I don't even think does that thing big question. Do I need to bring the Zoom recorder when I come, or can that thing do it all?
This thing can do it all.
Oh, I'm just gonna buy one. I'm gonna buy one so we have 2.
This one is awesome because this will just record it straight to an SD card if you want, or it'll record it to your computer. It seems amazing. I mean, I've had it for 5 days. Anyway, let's rock and roll. All right, and welcome to Fast Break Breakfast. NBA podcast. My name is Keith, here once again with my buddies through the miracle of computer phone. I'm here with Chuck Anderson.
Hey now.
And with John Burr.
Now, hey.
I'll accept it. We start the show, guys, talking about our breakfasts. Has anyone had a good breakfast today or recently?
Well,
Go ahead, John.
mine was. So today was a big day for me. I get my quarterly epidural steroid shot in my back for
Big
my
day.
bulging disc. This is the day. Yeah, the first time I got this shot, I cried because
Tears of joy?
Yeah, like the pain was gone. Like the pain was literally gone. You don't know how great it is until something's like not there anymore when it's, continuous pain. So I went
Like
to
your divorce
like your
again?
ex-spouse, right?
Yeah.
Yes, also that.
yeah, we both-
You guys are both on the same
Eiffel
page.
Towered him, Keith. Eiffel Towered
it.
that ass.
Crossfire.
And just like my ex-wife, the pain comes back periodically because I have to deal with her for legal reasons. But yeah, I couldn't eat. You can't eat before the procedure. So
Right.
at 3:00 procedure, I had to starve all day, and your boy was rabid. So rabid,
Isn't that
Did you
just
say
like-
Did you say rabid?
rabid, like
Old
I
Yeller.
had rabies.
Yeah, like put
I
old
was
Yeller
foaming
down.
at the mouth.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got hydrophobia.
This is just another hole in the soggy paper bag that is Chuck's. Somehow I'm the diets guy, but Chuck has been intermittently fasting for like 9 years on this podcast, and we're supposed to believe that waiting till 3 just ruined everything for him. I'm telling you, Chuck shows up to a wedding. His girlfriend tells everyone at the table, Chuck is not vegetarian. He's
No.
not vegan. He's nothing. He eats
I
whatever he
try.
wants.
I try.
right.
I try. So I went to there was a Taco Bell right across the street from the VA, and your boy had some beefy 5-layer burritos.
So this once
Three
a,
of them.
I thought there were 7 layers.
No, the 7 layers no longer there.
they got rid of
That
2
was-
layers. They stopped carrying those ingredients.
Well, the 7-layer was vegetarian, and now they took away 2 layers.
And you were
but
like,
added a
hell
beef
no.
layer. Yeah. So now I got to eat the 5-layer, which has beef, because there's no more 7-layer.
How do
Even
you
though all
add
the-
beef and lose 2 layers?
all the 7 layers are there. They have all the things for the 7 layers. They just said we're not going to make it anymore.
So really, they lost 3 layers and then added in beef.
I believe that's the math.
Can we go back to your back treatment? You
Yes.
get shots every 3 months. Does
Yeah.
the efficacy wear off? Is the first
Yes.
one it fixed everything, and now your body's like,
Yeah.
this isn't that
No.
exciting anymore.
So the first time I had like an old Indian doctor. He was super cool. He was
Yeah.
very professional.
Yeah.
And I think he did it the right way. The next 2 times, I think I got an intern, and like a week later, I was ruined again.
So I learned this. So right now you're in July.
Mhm.
We all are, not just you.
I think.
And
Oral manipulation.
my wife had surgery last week.
Yeah.
And she was terrified of having surgery because she was explaining to me in July, that's when all the new people start.
Oh.
And people
Good
in
enough.
medicine know, listen, you don't schedule a procedure for July.
Like eating sushi on a Tuesday.
Because it's the day before they throw out the food. This is this guy's first chance to try to find a gallbladder, and he's going to do it on you.
It's pronounced
And-
jawbladder.
Yeah. So
Creator
she was-
says it's pronounced jawbladder.
Jaw, hard G.
So we experienced that. I don't know if maybe Chuck, you've had recently, maybe people who weren't as good at maybe finding the sweet spot for your special shot.
I mean, I don't know how it works.
It's a lot of back.
I'm a big backed man.
Yeah.
I'm a big
Silverback.
backed man. I'm a silverback. They lay you down flat on this table, and then for some reason there was a long discussion on the length of the needle they were using to poke my spine.
That's awesome.
You ever
Like-
seen The Exorcist, Chuck?
It was so
They have
so
to make sure
harrowing.
it breaks through the exoskeleton. I believe.
Yeah,
I've
yes,
seen that
my,
on.
my thorax.
Yeah.
Did
So,
you
like-
know that the guy who performs the Chuck injection in the film The Exorcist later went on to become a serial killer?
What?
Is that a real one?
It's a real one.
Really?
That's more real than any faux breakfast I've had.
I know
I
that guy
need to
in the
look that
Shield
up.
ended up murdering someone.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Michael
And
Jace.
Julian.
So
Julian
did-
from the Shield.
Yeah, and so did the young man from a Bronx Tale. He went to
Aw,
jail for murder.
It's terrible.
Yeah. The
Are
guy-
you sure? I
did
think it was
one
robbery.
of the pieces
he was in
the Grizzlies
Sopranos.
traded for Pau Gasol. Everyone knows that, but well,
Lorenzen Wright's wife murdered him.
it's true. Why won't they just let him be at peace? They just had a new
Bison Deli
TV
faked
show
his
about
own
him.
death and lives somewhere. In
Oh man, I hope Bison Dele is living
extra
like a
style
king
Antarctica.
somewhere. John, what was your breakfast?
Can I do yesterday's breakfast? Because today
Absolutely.
was a banana. Okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday's breakfast was from regional fast food variety. You guys ever have? I know you've had the tea, so don't say that you've had it when you've had the tea. But have you ever had Milo's?
I've had Milo's one time in Birmingham, Alabama.
No, I've
Yep.
never had it.
It's a Bama joint. Had all these fond, like kind of. I'll just be somber on the podcast. I was going to a funeral, and I had all these. I had an uncle who was kind of more like a grandfather, and he would always take me to Milo's. So the whole family went to Milo's. I'm just filled with all this nostalgia. Cannot wait to eat these strange. And it's really early in the morning, but we still got burgers because that's what you get at Milo's. And it's these really strange. It's on like a weird bun, and then it has. The only ingredients are cheese, diced onions, Milo sauce.
Yeah.
Oof.
We're all filled with nostalgia. Can't wait. We're like hitting our burgers against each other, cheersing our fallen friend and family member. And turns out Milo's is real bad, super disgusting. Cannot recommend. Must make all their money just selling tea at Publix because the burger just nigh inedible. But I guess it's the thought that counts.
Is it one of those things where your palate has changed since the last time you had
Potentially,
a
because
Milo's?
I was like a disgusting child who really only wanted to eat like Taco Bell and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Also-
because Milo's was like forbidden food, except for when I was with my Uncle James. Like,
Yeah.
I think it may have been that thing. But I also think that I do think fast food restaurants are like worse than ever.
That's the question. Is there any way to know for sure?
Well, they're eliminating ingredients from 7-layer
I'm just
burritos.
saying, is there any way to find out if a 1989 McDonald's Big Mac is any different than the current version? I mean, I had Milo's when I was
Short of Bill
in
and
college.
Ted or some serious investigative journalism. No.
I mean, my memory of Milo's was good, but I was 20.
Yeah.
Anything I
Now-
bought at a fast food joint, I thought was amazing.
Your 20s are completely unreliable when it comes
Yeah.
to fast food just because
Yeah.
of the other things you're imbibing.
May I interject with another variable? When you order, much like sushi on a Tuesday, when you order a burger in the morning,
Yeah.
it's possible you're getting last night's burger
burgers.
beef.
I thought about that.
So, I mean, I'm not saying you probably need
My
more
burger had a pull
information.
to it. If it was in a barbecue contest, it would have been like grade A because it had a pull to it.
Does Milo's, is Milo's grinding the meat on premises?
Hail to the no.
Yeah, they're an
These were
unfreeze
discs.
patty.
These
right?
were vulcanized rubber discs.
Well,
Those were
vulcanized.
Yarmir Yager.
That's the Birmingham connection. Yeah.
Well, we really we wanted to do Hamburger Heaven, which is like really what James was kind of known for. James was Burger Man. He a fast food burger man, in fact.
Speaking of Birmingham,
but Hamburger Heaven was closed on Sundays, like all weird places are.
Speaking of Birmingham, the
Mhm.
Pelicans opened or their G League team is in Birmingham,
Whoa.
and I really wanted them to name themselves the Birmingham Vulcans.
Yeah.
Because you have the same last four letters of Pelicans and Vulcans.
Mm-hmm.
You have the connection. If you've never been to Birmingham, dear listener, they have a statue of Vulcan.
That's a proper name, though. So would you have multiple Vulcans?
Well, I mean, you know, John, that the Vulcans are a very famous race of people on the television show Star Trek.
I'm an idiot. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm now. I was thinking for people who don't know, because I'm kind of from Birmingham.
man.
There's a giant statue of Vulcan,
But there
the
is
god
a
of
giant.
iron.
That's where I thought it worked. Like it covered a couple
No, you're
different
right.
bases. It would have been a very popular jersey to sell.
No, I mean, yes, it would sell. You would sell so many
jerseys, and they could even keep the font the same as Pelicans because you have the cans. You can have both of them. You have the New Orleans cans with an apostrophe, the Birmingham cans.
Frankly, Keith, it's moments like this when it's offensive to me that you have made no money in your life.
I went through the proper channels. I submitted this idea for free to the Pelicans. I went to pelicans.com. I submitted that idea. I said, guys, this is a great idea. And then
I mean, it's not just a great idea. It is like guaranteed millions of dollars.
I also they would have
jersey sales immediately.
So many, like, is Vulcan's copyrighted? It couldn't be copyrighted.
I don't know.
What is the Birmingham team named?
I think they're called the Birmingham Pelicans.
Bulls?
I should look that up.
The baseball team is the Barons.
Yeah, Pelicans G League team. I think they're just called the Birmingham Pelicans. Yeah, they're called Birmingham Hoops.
We need to somehow get involved.
The Birmingham Hoops?
This doesn't.
That's not right.
I'm not even sure they have a name. It just says Pelicans G League team. Hey, listen,
they're changing it.
That might be it.
I even gave them a backup suggestion. I said, I wrote in the comments, if you don't use Vulcans, please use Pella Vulcans. Because I think Pella Vulcans would be amazing too.
To clarify.
But they ignored it. Oh man. My breakfast. I had frosted mini wheats.
That's quality.
That cereal's gross, and I don't get it. And we only had it because, as our listeners know, Monday is cereal day with the kids, and we let them basically. The pandemic's been rough on everybody. We have now let them have whatever cereal they want. You go to the store, you pick out a cereal. As long as it's not like the Oreo or the s'mores, well, like, fine. Fruity Pebbles, fine. But because of this Frosted Mini Wheats box, it was themed. It was Paw Patrol themed. The only reason it was selected by the children.
Of course.
And they see it, and it obviously has that one side that is frosted, that it's white, it's covered in sugar / icing. And the kids are like, that looks amazing because it looks like it's covered in sugar, but it tastes terrible. Like, you can't taste.
I like Frosted Mini Wheats.
There's a cinnamon roll Frosted Mini Wheat.
Oh, I bet that's amazing.
Oh, man. It's inside the mini wheat.
There's like a lot of off-brand.
Like a gusher where a cinnamon roll comes out?
Yeah, effectively.
Whoa.
It's lit.
That sounds amazing. I wish I had that.
Allie eats like a healthy version of Frosted Mini Wheats. It doesn't have frosting on it, but then it has like stuff kind of in the middle, not like a gusher or something. I've lost a lot here. It's just like different flavors mixed within the shredded wheat. And they're pretty good. Maybe I might have guessed it myself.
Yeah, you've been
because I'm just like, oh, cereal.
You're like, this is good for health food.
Something I can eat.
Yeah. Anyway, those were our breakfasts. After our breakfasts, we move to our breakfast in bed apologies. This is our chance to make right what we might have gotten wrong on a previous episode. It's frequently the first time we talk about the NBA, which it will be on this show outside of that Pelicans G League talk. Does anyone have anything they need to apologize for? John, what do you need to make right?
Last week on the interview podcast, I made a solemn oath to take the bullet and watch Space Jam 2 for the team.
Yeah, you said I wouldn't have to.
Yes, I was taking the bullet for Keith. I assumed that Chuck probably wasn't going to watch due to his heavy free on base schedule. And I needed to watch it not only for our podcast, but for Food Court. I was ready to do this, and I did not. And furthermore, I'm not going to. So this is a recant. This is a complete breakdown. This is I know everyone's crestfallen, but I had a bad weekend. And I think it would depress me. And I've never seen Space Jam 1.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to commit 5 hours to this. I'd rather continue being the podcast where like 2/3 of us have never seen a Space Jam movie. Look, I'm trying to talk everybody into this live. I can see the consternation on Keith's face. But I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I'm not going to watch it. I've made a decision.
I'm of two minds here.
I feel like Chuck will watch it. So I
have watched it.
Oh,
see, Chuck has watched it. I don't have to watch it.
So John, you told me on Thursday that you would watch it and Chuck would watch it, and this would be a time you guys could carry me.
Oh, that's right.
You're going to take care of it. And
I lied.
This wouldn't be the first time that you said that and then didn't do the thing you said you were going to do.
I did it again.
But also,
can this be an apology about this and then about all the other stuff?
You've also told me, you've also in this episode explained how you were at a funeral. So I can't go very far with it, with my disappointment or make a big deal out of it.
Two funerals in one day.
Whoa.
Yeah. Did you get a discount?
No, you're good.
Is there a discount for more than? Is that
we have a third one coming this next weekend,
man.
so maybe we'll buy two get one half off. I don't know.
Rough.
Man. It's like, do you know how when you're in your 20s and all your friends get married?
Oh yeah, and now you're 40s.
When you're in your
40s,
just your whole family just starts dying. It's just.
I think that's right. I am not going to watch the Space Jam. I don't think. I don't want to. It's flat out it.
Sledging, you and me, Hyundai together. We're not. No, I don't want to watch it, man. There's been a deluge of commercials, each one worse than the last. It's like consumerism writ large. I don't want to watch it.
Actually, I guess maybe it is for me because I'm like one of the few people who maybe would get like 95% of the references, but like
is for us.
I'm not sure who it's for. It's for Chuck. Like I don't want to see it, and I don't feel like I have to see it because I have a basketball podcast. I'm like pressured into having to see it. No, I'm
already like a volcano of negativity.
If Kyle Anderson was in it, I would see it.
A disturbing, like I've poured gallons of haterade on myself, like some kind of twisted Super Bowl celebration. The world doesn't need the vitriol that my reaction to Space Jam 2 is going to.
See, that's mature of you. I don't care if anyone likes it, if anyone watches it. I don't want to watch it. Chuck, which basketball player, who is the basketball player I like the most who is in Space Jam? Can you tell me? Like, who would you think?
Dame Lillard.
I don't like Dame Lillard. Dame Lillard wrote a letter to the commissioner asking to be an all-star over Mike Conley.
All right. Draymond's in it, I think.
I don't like Draymond. Klay Thompson's in it. I like him.
Klay Thompson.
I like Klay
Diana
Thompson.
Taurasi.
Sure.
But
she looks scary.
Here's my thing with
you don't like strong females, John. It's not her fault.
Also true.
Right. Here's my thing with the movie. It's a complete and total ripoff of the Sandra Bullock movie, The Net, because it's about a corporation that creates a software that ruins someone's life. And that someone's life isn't LeBron. It's LeBron's son. Also, come to find out, LeBron is the worst father maybe that has ever lived. Maybe.
I've heard a lot of this about how the film paints him in a very negative light. I'm proud of LeBron for, really exposing himself like that, or just letting the artistic vision go the way it needed to go, even if it painted him in a bad light. Is there any chance this is one of those Metallica documentary where he doesn't understand how bad it makes him look?
Yes, this is some kind of Space Jam Monster Squad.
I think so. I think they spent the first 3 minutes basically filleting him in video form. Like it's just his life story. I was a little concerned at the beginning because they start with him at, in Akron as a kid in high school and then they follow him. And I was like, if they don't put him in a Miami Heat uniform, if they heat wash him out of my history, I'm gonna leave this theater. But they didn't. They showed him. They even referenced the Miami Big Three when he was trying to form his super team of Warner Brothers.
Is Chris Bosh in the movie?
No.
Oh. Dwayne
Wade? No.
Oh.
How would you animate Chris Bosh, who was already animated in real life?
He'd be a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
That's a great question.
He'd be a Velociraptor. But no, there were so many holes in the movie. Can I tell you one thing?
Chuck, we don't care about the plot holes.
There's the biggest. Here's the thing. Don Cheadle is a superstar, and he carried the whole entire film for me. This movie was better than any Hotel Rwanda. Nothing. This is the greatest movie I've seen him do ever.
This isn't even the best Don Cheadle movie that came out on
HBO Max.
HBO Max this week.
Right.
How do you know?
Don Cheadle. I'm going to tell you how I know.
He wore a silver denim suit.
Listen to me, Chuck. Don Cheadle is in a Steven Soderbergh movie where I crap you not. He does a Cat Williams impression for the entire film.
All right, I'll watch it.
Just drink it down.
That movie was made for me.
Right.
So I watched it and enjoyed it. That's
Right.
like, I'm not trying to fight the stereotype that I am.
But we do have a Hoops podcast, and we're not going to watch Space Jam 2.
And we're also not going to do a hoop stream of No Sudden Move.
Yeah, I
don't
really
think
think
that would have a
Sandra
big
Bullock
appeal.
should get paid. Like, she should get extra because they just stole the whole.
Also,
that's the
Chuck,
net,
I'm
dude.
a little disappointed you didn't call The Net by its full name, which is Carl Reiner's favorite film, The Net.
Carl Reiner's favorite film, The Net.
Thank you.
They don't go to space. Spoiler alert. There's no aliens. Spoiler alert. It's Space Bar Jam. It's all keyboard stuff. It's all like blips and digital bloops.
It's like Tron, Space Jam.
It's Space Tron. Space Jam, a new Tron.
What was the one where they redid parts of The Shining? What was that movie? Ready Player Space Jam 1?
Yeah, Ready Player Space Jam 1.
They
Yeah.
could have called it Inner Space Jam, Nothing But Net.
There we go. Now
like
you're
that.
cooking with gas.
Oh.
Did you
What
have that
if-
written down?
Legacy?
Is that written down on your hand?
I wish.
Is that
What
the
if-
bit we were trying to get to?
What if John Hamm was part of this reboot and not part of the Fletch reboot, and he could have called it Space Ham?
Oh,
Man,
well,
that would
no,
be,
they
that would
could
be
have
two
just,
birds, one stone for me, because that would
They
solve a
could
lot
have
of
just
problems in my life.
given Porky Pig more time and called it Space Ham.
If something happens to derail the Fletch reboot, like a crime, I'm talking about arson or a car bomb, I know it will be John Burr.
Look no further.
Yeah.
I know it will be John. Who
I'd be fine. I'd be fine if they just remade Fletch Lives.
They could have put Cam Johnson in it. They could have made it Space Cram.
Space Cram or
Why
Space Cam?
would you
Space
touch
Cam
the
works too.
perfection that is Fletch, the subtle perfection that is Fletch?
We've moved off Fletch. I'm sorry.
I'll have a steak sandwich and a steak sandwich.
So Chuck, did your child watch it as well, or did you just watch
My son
it?
was so confused about why Game of Thrones was in it.
Yeah.
Why it turned into like there's a scene. So they managed, Warner Brothers did, to remind you of all of the things you can stream
Yeah.
through Warner Brothers in this
Yeah.
movie. And at the end of the movie, all of the Warner Brothers, vehicles, the products that they own had
Yeah.
like C- Times Square versions of themselves around the court. Like they have the mask, but it's not Jim Carrey. It's like, I don't know, like Yakov Smirnoff in the mask outfit. It's all like worse versions. That
I heard
Robin,
they had like characters from Cloud Atlas in the background. I heard it went deep.
it had like what's his name? Schwarzenegger's.
I mean, the Clockwork Orange people were in there.
Yes, Clockwork
Was that
Orange.
right? That's right.
Yes,
I forgot about
in
that.
their
It had
diapers.
it had the nuns from that very controversial film from the early 70s.
Black Narcissus.
No, I don't know how to Google this without turning on my incognito filter. I'll just leave it alone.
But yeah, man, like it really is just a terrible, terrible film that no one should ever watch. But I'll probably watch it again with my son one day
Yeah.
because he'll want to see it because he's
just
7.
a
Is it
Marvel
all right? All right,
movie, right?
Chuck.
It's just kind of a
Movie,
Marvel movie.
film, or cinema? Which one? I'm just kidding. That's a
It's
pretentious
if
Jerry
you made
Seinfeld.
if you made a 2-hour long TikTok.
Oh, well, this will make $1
Yeah.
billion.
It could.
And it's
It
gonna.
could.
It'll make $1 billion. John, wait, you apologize. Chuck, what did you apologize? What's your apology?
No, well, I also have to recant. Last week I
Uh-huh.
said I would be going to Summer League,
Yeah.
but the week of Summer League is my vasectomy. And I had to wait 6 months to
Well,
get this thing scheduled.
I think I speak
Bang!
for Keith when I say, please stop having kids.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
done with kids. The world, much like LeBron, I am not prepared for fatherhood. And
No three-peat, please.
No three.
No big three for you.
No big three. I've
Yeah.
got 2. I'm shutting it down, like Dirk Nowitzki says. So
Yeah, he doesn't have
everything-
two, to be clear.
And look, like every month that I don't get a vasectomy is I'm just playing with fire. Like it's just an inevitability. Like
I've been meaning to get one of those, Chuck.
I'll let you know how it works out. I'm sure it'll be fodder for the show in August when there's no basketball to talk about. So I'll talk about my ball.
I mean, it's not a terrible. I mean, I guess you could, if you wanted to, you could watch Summer League all day while you're recovering.
Oh,
you need a few days to recoup.
Yeah, I need 2 days. They said don't do anything for 2 days.
Yeah,
like any heavy lifting.
I mean, there should be Summer League for you. You can try to spot me and John in the crowd.
John, you should be wearing something loud and obnoxious, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'll try.
Okay.
That won't be hard to do. I'll apologize. Last week, I was talking about Ime Udoka and his storybook kind of life of where he went to high school in Portland, Oregon. He went to college in Portland, Oregon. And then I said he was an undrafted rookie. As an undrafted rookie, he made the Trailblazers. That part was false. And I apologize. He didn't make the Trailblazers until a few years into his career. He played for the Knicks and the Lakers, just a handful of games before finally starting 75 games for the Portland Trailblazers. So it still was a storybook, tale. But
he started 75 games.
They weren't very good.
What era is this? I feel like
this is the pre them getting kind of good. This is like
so pre Brandon Roy.
They were under 500.
Excuse me, Brandon Roy.
Brandon Roy.
Let's see. That year, the 06-07.
I got myself.
I love how much you loved that joke. That's important to me.
A little hockey humor for the purists.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He played on a team with Zebo and Brandon Roy.
Wow.
What a team. LaMarcus Aldridge, Martell Webster.
I'm ashamed I didn't know
Jack.
him.
Incredible team.
Martell Webster.
My doppelganger, Sergio Rodriguez, was a svelte 20-year-old on this team.
Heat legend, Jared Jack.
That's an incredible roster right there. The only way the story of Ime Udoka could have been better is if they hired him to be their coach, but they chose a different path. The Trailblazers did. I also, by the way, if you go on YouTube and watch last week's episode, which is available in an unedited and uncut glory, I misused an idiom, which I knew I said. I didn't
think Chuck was on the Thursday.
Wrong.
So go ahead.
Well, no, it's this. I said, because John, we're talking about your nanny. You didn't know if your nanny was going to come back. Did she come back, by the way?
She hasn't come back yet.
Okay. So we talked about how your nanny was gone. And I said, yeah, she's probably 3 sheets to the wind.
That's like a drunken.
Which just means you're drunk. That doesn't actually mean like she's gone.
She might be drunk.
So that didn't make it in the real episode. But if you go on YouTube and Google Fastbreak Breakfast, you can hear me misuse that idiom. If that's not a tease, I don't know. I don't know what is. Anyway. I'm still here.
You got a fire tweet?
No.
Is this one of those moments where, like, sometimes if I think of a song, like I have to stop everything, go outside. If you think of a tweet, you have to like stop live podcasts to tweet.
I mean,
it will be gone like a melody.
Well, anyway, if you are listener out there looking for something to do, I said last week, we've all got our vaccinations and people are going out and doing things more. Let's slow that down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you are buying a ticket, say to Summer League, or a ticket to see your favorite MLS team play, or if you're going to go support a band that you might like, and if you're buying that ticket off the secondary market, maybe hunt for a deal on SeatGeek.com. And when you do that, use our promo code FastBreakBreak. If you use our promo code and it's your first purchase, you get $20 off that purchase. That's an incredible deal. So if you're buying tickets to anything this summer, go to SeatGeek.com, check out the prices, and then realize you can subtract $20 when you use promo code FastBreakBreak. Same as the Twitter handle, same as the Instagram handle, FastBreakBreak. So SeatGeek.com, get $20 off with promo code FastBreakBreak.
Summer League, one of my favorite bands of all time, Sparks, is doing an American tour for the first time in some time. Space Jam 2, can you use that on Space Jam 2?
I don't. Nope. Can you?
Probably not.
I don't think you can.
You should. If you could.
Steak and eggs, best thing. What's the best thing you saw, gentlemen? John, what's your steak and eggs?
I got to go with, he was once simply the anglerfish, Now we must call him the complete anglerfish. Chris Middleton. My God. I feel like it's like you have Giannis. You know what Giannis is, but I feel like this is the series that maybe has even shown the masses a Chris Middleton that can't exist because he's been so ridiculous, so absurd. Everyone's talking about the shot making of Devin Booker, but Chris Middleton's shot making has been right there, just as absurd, just as incredulous at all turns. And furthermore, like doing it on both sides of the ball with regularity. Like you're getting like the Drew Holiday on-off switch type games where his defense will be there, but no offense at all. And then, he'll have the good offensive game. He's had 2 good offensive games. Middleton's been great in almost every game on both sides of the ball outside of Giannis, who's, got the MVP pretty much locked up if the Bucks win. I think this has been like a performance where you can definitely be like, okay, it's not just Giannis and company. Like they have like a, Bird, McHale, Jordan, Pippen type 1 and 2.
He's absolutely been monstrous in the last few games, but that's been like that. That's like the Chris Middleton cycle. We've been early adapters and appreciators of the.
I feel like everyone gets to see because he's like not just a really great athlete. He's also like a canny Chris Paul type who you've seen him manipulate officials and kind of like take control of the game in ways that really only like incredibly heady players do. And it's just been.
He's also the only thing they can lean on in the clutch when it comes to the half court. Like their half court offense.
Dude, their half court offense is Chris Middleton. Now, luckily they are able to score at will in transition, but he is their only half court scorer.
I would push back and say, but however, as much as I love Chris Middleton and as much as I went on and on about him in 2016 about how much I wanted him to be a Memphis Grizzly, and I called him future Grizzly Chris Middleton.
Wait, he'd be the greatest Grizzly player of all time.
He is still in that cycle of not good game, really good game.
I disagree. Like that's kind of what I wanted to highlight. His games that are bad games, he's found ways to take them over in other ways, like making referees call fouls where he wasn't even touched. And like, he's able to identify, this is one of I've said this on the show probably too many times. I've identified that one of my favorite things about players is when they're having a bad game, they still find ways to completely take over. That's my favorite kind of player. And that's what Chris Middleton, I feel like, has done in this series.
I'm just saying game 2, he had 11 points. Yeah. And they get crushed. And he had games like that against Atlanta and games. Right. Again, I love Chris Middleton. I wouldn't put him down. And he has been so big in these games, and he's like he's outplayed. Sorry, this thing is doing something real weird.
Uh-oh. I'm still recording, so
is it me?
I don't think so.
No, I'm getting like big feedback. Not feedback.
My AC just kicked on. That might be
my thing started talking back to me.
Yeah, no, it's not. This thing has preamps and stuff. Your AC will not be an issue. That was just like a Skype thing.
No, yeah, that was my actual. I had GarageBand monitoring on, and it started playing back what I was saying like a second later, like a second delay. All right. What was I saying?
You love me.
I do love you, Chuck. I was talking about Chris Middleton, obviously. Oh, I think I was saying he was outplaying Devin Booker. I was about to say that.
I don't know if you can say that, but I mean, we did have a game where Chris Middleton and Devin Booker traded 40-point performances.
Yeah.
That's are we recording? Or are you going?
No, I got to get us back in there.
Right.
One of the things about Devin Booker that's been so good. One of the things about Chris Middleton that's been so good and maybe overlooked a little bit. Devin Booker's had these 40-point games the last 2 games, consecutive 40-point games. I think Chris Middleton's outplayed him both of those games. And obviously in game 4, Middleton had 40 points as well. In game 5, Middleton only had 29 points, but he had the 5 assists. And one of the ways it's kind of showing off how much Middleton, I think, is outplaying Devin Booker right now is in these fourth quarters of these games. This is a Tom Haberstroh stat. So far in this series in the fourth quarters, Devin Booker has 0 assists. He has 0 assists combined in the 5 fourth quarters. Chris Middleton, I think he has 7. But
in
it's
the
still
game, in the game you mentioned where he only had 11 points, I believe he had 8 assists in that game.
Yeah.
And he identified, like, I'm going to feed Giannis in a certain spot. That's also the game where that it became clear, I think, that they were like, Giannis is going to have to be the screener sometimes. And I think that's when the series changed.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know.
They've gone to that. It looked like they went to that a lot more in game 5 of Middleton and, Giannis screening for Middleton. And then also, I mean, like if the roles were reversed, like if Devin Booker was playing with Giannis, sure, Devin Booker's probably going off as well. But like, Middleton's been awesome. He's been a big reason why the Bucks obviously have won. I mean, Middleton, Holiday, and Giannis combining for 88 points combined in game 5.
It's a true testament to the Suns that they were even in game 5 with those numbers.
Man, I can't get over the Suns. The Suns are the first team ever to have 50-50, 90 shooting splits and lose a postseason game. And not only that, they had 55, 68, 91 shooting splits. They made all their shots, but like they didn't get stops.
I think the most incredible thing about that game was the fact that the Bucks kind of just let Booker do what he had to do and say, all right, no Jay Crowder, no Cam Johnson. We're going to give you that. And Booker, you'll beat us. And it got to the point where because he's not going to pass when it's crunch time, that's what he's used to doing. Drew Holiday can come off of Chris Paul and strip him off that when he drives into the lane and gets that alley-oop to Giannis. I think if the Suns, that predictability kind of harmed their.
I think if the Suns and Devin Booker play that game 100 times against any team, they win 99 times.
Yeah, they shouldn't have lost
that Bucks game was all 3 guys went nuts.
Yeah, Chuck, you said the Bucks basically making Devin Booker beat him. He almost did. Like he
almost did.
He was very, very close.
And we're talking like the difference in the last 2 games were like athletic feats of massive proportion. Like Giannis's block, which I don't know, I'm going to call it the Euro hero, whatever. That block is forever in my head. The biggest, defensive play I've ever seen. Like the turnaround and the meeting Ayton at the rim was nuts. And then that absolute bad pass from Drew Holiday that turned into it was a bad pass.
He did say it. He saved him.
And he saved
bad
him.
Decision. I thought the pass was okay. Bad decision.
Pass is okay. Pass was okay.
It wasn't the worst pass, but it wasn't a perfect pass. And that's why it looked so cool. It was like Giannis, probably the only player that makes that defensive play. And there's like a handful of players that can catch that alley-oop. Maybe 3 or 4 more, but that's the difference, is an athletic generational talent in this series, right?
Yeah, both of these games, the Suns could have definitely won them. They come down to these plays you're talking about, highlighted by Giannis's big plays. But also a big thing that's happened in the last 2 games is, for whatever reason, and if it is the Bucks leaving Devin Booker to just go one-on-one, and they're saying, listen, we're just going to guard the shooters. We're going to not help off maybe as much. But for whatever reason, the Suns have not gotten that ball moving. They've not gotten the ball into the corners. They only have 4 corner 3-point attempts combined in the last 2 games. And Devin Booker's potential assists are way down. Like, this is a guy who was creating for others, who I went on and on about how much he's been trusting his teammates all year. And I don't know if it's a lack of trust, because he's on fire and he's hitting his shots and he's kind of getting what he wants. I don't know if he's being like mind tricked into doing these things.
It's the old 70-point game mentality.
No,
I'm alive.
I disagree. Just go look at go look at their stats when it's just Chris Paul and Devin Booker's not on the court. I think you'll understand that Devin Booker knows that he has to do this or they're going to lose.
Yeah, they got crushed in the non-Devin Booker minutes.
Yeah, I think it's a 12-point differential. That's massive. That's completely insane. And I feel like he has to do this or the series is over. Instead, he's putting on one of the great performances.
But I think what while it's important to talk about, Booker and Giannis and Drew and Middleton and Paul, I think like the performances the Bucks got from Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton, like Bobby Portis scored 6 points in a row. Like, it didn't make sense. It shouldn't happen in an NBA Finals game.
Well,
but he came through, and I think that's one of the reasons why they pulled it out too, because they're Pat Connaughton's been balling. Like, he's automatic from 3.
Yeah, so he's shooting 50% on threes in the finals.
Yeah. So that, to me, it's also the role players, that we see time and again, that they matter too. Like if they're not putting up, this game isn't going for the Bucks. Game 5.
You're right in one sense, but it is kind of funny that there's fewer role players than ever.
Right.
I mean,
Going
the big
60.
three for the Bucks scored 90 points, and it's like, and then you had Pat Connaughton being Danny Green over here and just being absolutely awesome off the bench. Portis comes in, takes care of business. That was the moment of the game, essentially, when Giannis goes to the bench in the first half.
Yeah.
And the Bucks erase that lead. I thought it was great by Bud. He's still playing Jeff Teague in the first halves, which just quit playing him. But also when Giannis goes out, he doesn't mess around. He puts, it's like Holiday and Middleton, and then you have Connaughton, and then Portis and Lopez. Like, I think that's the 5 they use. So they have like their 5 next best players on the court when Giannis is out. I think it's really smart.
I do think Bud's has been poor, though. Again, I feel like I got into a thing where I started counting called plays for Drew Holiday post-ups, and I stopped after like 11 of them. Like he's doing things like Middleton and Giannis are wresting control of the game plan from Buds and just playing 2-man basketball. And I feel like that has been when they've done well. I feel like I feel like the team is kind of winning despite him. If Buds has like truly been like, all right, Giannis, I know you don't want to, but you have to screen. That's another thing. But I felt like, I felt like the Bucks, it's been more of a player performance. I'm loath to give him any credit, but maybe
you really are. I mean, I don't know who's calling what. I assume he's not calling much of anything. I assume this is just the Bucks basically running their stuff. This seems to be what they've done. The stuff that I'm sure he's doing as far as controlling rotations, that part of it, I feel like he's made a lot of really great adjustments, and I give him a ton of credit. This will be my best thing. If we're talking about Budenholzer, who is very close to winning a title. Budenholzer is 6-0 in closeout games with the Bucks.
Wow.
So they have a closeout game on Tuesday night. And this is from Justin Garcia on Twitter. Teams who are up 3-2 in the finals playing game 6 at home. All time, those teams are 10-1 in those game 6s, and all time, all 11 of those teams ended up winning the series. So that's right. My best thing is the Bucks. They can't lose this. There's no way. Go Bucks. We did it. Came back from 0-2. Amazing. Lifetime Bucks fan here. Loving the ride.
Well, it has been an insane series kind of to go against trends as well, because despite what you've said, you've kind of just annihilated an argument I was going to make, but I'm going to make it anyways because that's what I do. 11 points for Chris Middleton game 2 style. But look, the Bucks have not been a good clutch minutes team for a very long time, and the Suns have been like the clutch minutes team, like the team that is incredible at the end of games, and the Bucks so. I feel like everyone at the end of the last game was like, "Oh, the Bucks are definitely going to blow this."
Oh yeah,
Like the Bucks are going to blow this. Like we've seen this all year from both teams, like on opposite sides of the spectrum, and then like. I hate to be that guy, but when Drew Holiday throws that alley-oop, I'm like, oh, what a foolish thing to. Oh my God, it dunk. And I really would like I need Zapruder-like analysis of that play, and I don't feel like it's happened because Giannis. I don't know. Do you guys remember when the Seattle Seahawks wide receiver DK Metcalf ran down that guy for the 99? Should have been a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Yeah,
I feel like because Giannis was deep under the hoop. Giannis was way down there. I feel like that has been overlooked. I also feel like, and I'm ready to make an announcement, I'm rooting for a game 7. But
Same.
I am now switching. I want the Bucks to win in 7 because if you watch what Chris Paul tries to do to Giannis Antetokounmpo during that dunk, it is vile, evil, supervillain stuff.
I think he made a play. It didn't feel like it in real time. Like watching it, that's what I'm talking.
I want the Zapruder film analysis.
But like in real time, it was just
back
like
and to the left, back and to the left.
I need to foul that guy who can't shoot free throws.
Right.
I get it, but he tries to kill him.
I know, but like it's the heat of the moment. I don't even think he turned around and he was like, "Oh, he's right there. Okay, let me do this." And
okay, fair enough. Damn you.
I want to make one of my favorite things that I've noticed is Giannis's complete awareness of how much of a liability he is with the ball in his hands when he's taking a shot. Like he knows if he's not dunking, he needs to be passing.
It's almost as if he's
foul
like
him.
He's under the hoop. He's like,
right.
Drew just stole it. We cannot get into the half court or we will lose.
Like no, John, no, you're right there. That's what I think it was. He took off running saying, we have to get a dunk right now.
Right. Yeah, he's like, I'm going and I'm dunking it or we're going to lose.
And that like, even at the end of the game, that tap back, it wasn't, he probably could have grabbed it, but he knew that I'm going to brick these two again. So let me give it to.
That's the one. So right. John, I was not scared on the alley-oop play. I was like, take me away, Jesus. This is beautiful.
Yeah, it was an amazing play.
The tap back, because Drew Holiday crashes the glass from the outside the three to hit it up in the air first. So then Giannis says, I don't want to catch this, even though I could easily catch this. I don't want to shoot any more free throws.
Tapped it back to Drew.
He does a no-look tap back to the only
to Middleton, right?
Right.
But Middleton is the only player in between three Suns in the basket.
Right.
He just taps it back to Chris Middleton, and I'm like, there's no one back on defense. Like, there's only Chris Middleton who has to get to the ball. Like, that was the moment where I was like, they're going to give up a wide open something right here. Like, it's going to be a fast. I thought it was going to be a fast break going the other way, but Middleton gets the ball.
And Chris Paul was right there. Like, that was like, it could have been disastrous. But that's how much he knows he can't shoot another free throw in the game.
I can't. John, talking about treating that play like the Zapruder film, there is that real high-res slow-mo version of it. I've watched that at least 15 times because I adore watching crowd reactions on those plays.
I didn't even think about like the man on the grassy knoll like type stuff there could be.
The people, man,
LeBron
the people on the grassy knoll, there are so many hands to the head because it's they're in Phoenix. And so it's like there's the Booker turnover and there's a lot of people who slow-mo throw their heads back and throw their hands up. And then there's another one when the alley-oop goes up. Oh, there's so many good crowd reactions.
Just think of how like, a JFK-ish breakdown could occur because if Devin Booker doesn't take two steps further in and just drains that 15-footer that he has yet to miss.
That's true.
I mean, there's so many like decision points. There's just because also if Giannis just doesn't take off in a full gazelle Dilophodon sprint.
Like Don Beebe after Leon Lett.
Exactly. I mean, just unbelievable. Like, Drew Holiday has a million things he can do there, and he decides to do the craziest thing.
I need sports science to mash up the film. I need Leon Lett, Don Beebe, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and DK Metcalf I need to see them all lined up side by side. I have a hunch Giannis and Metcalf are going to fly by Don Beebe and Leon Lett.
Yes.
He's a gym rat, though.
I don't.
He's a gym rat.
Get Darryl Green. You guys remember Darryl Green, Washington Redskins?
Who like pulled an abdomen muscle hurtling over a Chicago Bear in a punt return? I'm old. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Was the fastest man in the league until he was like 42. Yeah. Said he had a gear. Said he lost a step, but it was a step that he could afford to lose.
Yeah.
Chuck, man, we should start a 90s NFL podcast.
Chuck, what's your best thing?
My best thing is LeBron sneaking in booze to an NBA Finals game, looking like has grandma glasses on. John, he stole those sunglasses from your dresser drawer,
stealing my vibes.
And then can you just do that? Did he have them in his pants? Like it was like he had a brown paper bag with booze in it.
Yeah,
his booze.
LeBron addressed this. I mean, he had a bottle of tequila under the seat.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's like, hey, LeBron snuck in his own tequila. LeBron quote tweeted this with a snuck it in. Ha, that's a good one with like a sideways smiley face. I don't know what that meant. Like, did he actually do it? Did he order it? Like, is he allowed? Like, can you get bottle service at?
That's what I'm saying.
NBA games?
It should have came out with some sparklers. Like they should have made it like a big deal, like they do in the club. But
LeBron
he had
could
it
get like
hidden.
Corinthian boy. Like he could have anything he wants. Like there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing LeBron can't snap his fingers.
I assume
and
this is LeBron's tequila. This is not Scottie Pippen's or Michael Jordan's or James Buss's or Magic Johnson's.
The greatest thing about LeBron,
George Clooney's.
when LeBron was on the screen, Disney in saying that he was in Space Jam put all of the Rotten Tomatoes like reviews of
Love it. Give me all of
like,
it. Love it.
They're like, "Hey, Warner Brothers, suck it. The mouse has got you." And they just dropped it because they knew like you have to talk about Space Jam if he's there. That's probably the reason he showed up. I mean, look, him and Chris Paul are buddies, but like he's like, yeah, if I show up here, 5 million more people might download or watch it off HBO Max.
Yeah.
Which, man, I wish I would have watched it for free.
Oh, did you pay? Did you pay it and
yes,
see it? Yes, I
went to the theater.
Good for you, Chuck, supporting all those hardworking industry workers.
I thought it would be good in 3D. I thought it would be good in 3D. Like it would just be, and it was. And at one point, so all of the so they have Dame Lillard, Klay Thompson, and we're going back to it. I don't care. And they have NBA and WNBA players, right? But at the end, Don Cheadle turns into this like monster who has the body type of Giannis. It's basically just Don Cheadle's face on Giannis's body. And it was
I think that's Chris Middleton, actually.
That was the point. I was like, man, Giannis didn't get. They could have just asked Giannis to be in it, but they didn't. They made Don Cheadle look like
he should have turned into Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley Monstar.
Chuck, I think you made the right analytics play to avoid the 2D and go for the 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get the
dunked on, hung dong.
Anyway, those were our steak and eggs best things. The opposite of our best thing is our cream of wheat worst thing. Chuck, what's your worst thing of the week?
My worst thing, Space Jam 2 is sexist.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah. The female characters, I forget their names.
Diana Taurasi.
They were like these miserable, they were like snakes, they were pests.
Let us point out, Space Jam is sexist. Chuck says the female characters, I forget their names.
I don't know their names. I wasn't listening when they were introduced.
Here's to you, Chuck. Okay. 44 more ounces of unsweetened tea just for that line.
But yeah, they made them arachnids and snakes. It was so messed up. They didn't. I am glad that they took away the sexuality of Lola Bunny. She was.
I thought they said inappropriate things to Lola Bunny back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I say several years ago when I watched it.
Jessica Rabbit. Betty Boop.
They did made me feel just uncomfortable watching these depictions of anthropomorphic animals.
Chuck, you get aroused by stiff breezes. You're having a vasectomy next month.
What I'm saying
you're
is
unmarried and having a vasectomy.
That's how you live, baby. That's what I'm gonna put in my Tinder bio.
Yeah, you should.
Snipped and ready to
sir
dip.
or madam.
So was it sexist
from the windows to the wall?
Well, you felt the female characters were treated as villains, or
I mean, like they were scarier,
deceptive.
They were scarier, and
this wasn't just you being scared of powerful women like John.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, maybe it could be it.
I haven't seen the movie. I can't comment. I'm not going to.
We'll never see the movie.
So that's I'll have to take your word for it.
Keith.
John, what's your worst thing?
So I talked about the anglerfish for my best thing. The worst thing is I got anglerfished right before the last game. I fell for one of those tweets of like Antetokounmpo out game 5 or whatever when they were talking about Thanasis instead of Giannis.
Oh yeah.
And I even tuned into the game late and was bewildered to see Giannis. And I realized I'm just an old fool. Really, do I need to be sunned that way, that mightily by the generation before me, just by my own misuse of technology? It's just not a good feeling. I was humiliated.
So I saw on our Slack chat that someone posted Antetokounmpo out for game 5. And I didn't even respond to it because I understood if Giannis was out, I would have found out already. That's kind of how I felt. Like that's why you have your tweet.
How nice for
on
you.
For your big news breakers. Yeah. So
I think I mute most basketball.
You turn on, man, just turn on those Woj tweets, turn on those Shams Charania tweets, and then that lets you know when there's actual news.
The only alerts I get are Magic Johnson tweets.
That also lets me know that like Chris Duarte is going to be in the green room on draft night. I know that guy would be the 5th oldest Thunder player if he got drafted to the Thunder. He's 24. I'll do my worst thing.
Is he older than SGA?
Yeah, no, he's older than Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, he's basically as old as Tyus Jones and Justice Winslow.
Hey now.
My worst thing is we're about to get. I'm guessing on Tuesday, when this show comes out, there's going to be a cry heard across the universe. It's going to be as if a great many people suddenly suffered all at once. And it's going to be the Suns fans realizing the wheel of referees has spun. And once again, Scott Foster has popped out.
Oh dear.
Scott Foster's time in the rotation. I know these assignments are not made until the day of the game.
Chris Paul-deraan.
But
Took me a minute, but I got there.
It's been a minute since Scott Foster had a game. You know he's coming back up in the docket. It's the blackjack dealer. He's about to come back out of that chute.
The cooler.
It's going to turn up. It's going to be Scott Foster, and it's either going to be Chris Paul loses again to Scott Foster in game 6, and if he doesn't pop up on game 6, you know it's game 7 Scott Foster.
Have you guys seen the movie The Cooler?
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you guys remember from it? Can't say William H. Macy's penis.
Oh, that's the only thing anyone remembers.
I don't have any
trick question. The only thing anyone remembers is William H. Macy.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't remember the plot at all. I remember Alec Baldwin.
He had a very polite dong.
Pecker, yeah.
Very polite pecker. He's just very like it's just like good job, bud. You just showed it.
If you're making a movie and one of your Academy Award winning actors is going to be in it, and you're going to show him full frontal nudity, that's the only thing we're going to remember.
Yeah.
You know who was relieved when that penis made its way onto the screen? Harvey Keitel.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Felicity Huffman.
Harvey Keitel. Wow.
No one's going to sleep with you now, buddy.
Harvey Keitel is like, that one might be less impressive than mine. I no longer have the smallest. Because everyone who shows their penis in a movie is just
the directors
hanging Nate Duncan dong. Like seriously,
are the directors thinking I'm doing this because this is part of the artistic vision?
Mm-hmm.
But like, if you do that, that's all we remember. I feel like it's ruined whatever artistic vision you had because it was like, hey, do you remember that time we made Macy was laying on bed, totally naked? That was kind of weird.
And then, yeah, God, we're so sexist. What's her name? Grabs his junk. Seminal moment. Seminal.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up. John, what's your Chuck? What's your worst thing?
Yeah,
I told you. I already told you about Space Jam.
Yeah, Chuck's worst thing is Space Jam. I spoiled Chuck's worst, but we could dig deeper. Like, is it actually sexist
that the women's characters were pests that you get removed from your home?
But Dave Lillard looks like an Ants character too. I feel like everyone he's a
clock. He's a clock. Klay Thompson is water and fire at the same time, which makes no sense. And Anthony Davis is an eagle.
Okay, you're right. That does sound kind of sexist.
The two women,
I can see the point.
Right. You would call an exterminator to remove the two women's characters from your home. The other two are just natural beauties or things you have to live with.
Is Sue Bird a wasp?
All right, those were our cream of wheat worst things. Before we get to the awards segment of the program, we have a couple of listener submitted questions. The croissant questioner.
He of the Dickensian name, Harrison Fagan, asks, Mario Chalmers recently begged the Lakers for a workout on Twitter. That has me wondering, Are there any players currently out of the NBA that you guys are irrationally confident could contribute to a roster right now if they wanted to? Keith, I'm sure you've thought of this. Actually, you cannot say Nick Calathis, all right? You cannot say Nick Calathis.
That was mine.
Continue.
Nick Calathis could do some things out there. All right, if Nick Calathis is off the board, I'm going to go with Andrew Harrison.
My God.
Tony Roten.
I'm going to take the other Harrison.
Costa Kufos. Wayne Selden.
Wade Baldwin III.
And then I'll cap it off with Greg Monroe.
Wow.
I think Ray Allen could shoot 37% from three today in a finals game.
Right?
Yeah.
Like today. Like he aged so gracefully. He decided to just go off into the sunset, understood his legacy.
Pissed off every teammate he ever had.
Basically hated by anyone who ever played with him. If
you heard tomorrow that Ray Allen was joining the Mavericks, you'd be like, I feel like we'd be out here like, that's a great signing.
Yeah. Way to go. Could really use the floor space.
Hey, man, you're telling me he'd be worse than JJ Redick was last year? No.
Facts on facts.
What about, Jamal Crawford put up 51 in his Seattle Pro-Am wearing a surgical mask.
Jamal Crawford's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I'm going to say Greg Oden's penis. Patrick Kirtner asks, is Jerry Colangelo intentionally sabotaging Greg Popovich with this year's USA basketball roster to settle old Spurs Sun scores? Or that's like a grudge. Old Spurs Suns grudges. Or do guys just not want to play in the pandemic Olympics? I feel like this has been answered.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know a lot of people don't want to play. Yeah. They had a tough go. I mean, they were the Team USA roster was down to 6 people one day last week.
We've now added Keldon Johnson and Olympian legacy ad JaVale McGee.
Yeah, that's the good kind of nepotism.
Is it?
Yeah. No, I mean, is Colangelo trying to harm Popovich? No.
Normal caller, Patrick. Find a new slant.
Is Colangelo bad at what he's doing? Maybe.
I think the real answer is Jerry Colangelo is just a besotted and filthy diaper of a GM.
I mean, it's all the whole Team USA thing is weird favors to agents, I assume. And I don't know which front office guys are the beneficiaries because Jerry Colangelo is no longer involved. His son, for Brian, who knows what reason, is no longer involved. It's a normal size collar. I don't know why. They didn't pick the best players to make the most cohesive team.
No. And
I think there's some degree where it's like, all right, if this guy says he wants in, he gets in because there is this pecking order of NBA stars. And I don't know exactly how it works. The inclusion of Kevin Love, for example, didn't make any sense at the time. When Kevin Love says, I'm not good enough to play, I'm going to go back home, citing an injury, But I don't know, who is that a favor to? Who is that a favor to? Listen, Kevin Love can come play, and then I'll scratch your back down the line when it comes to who? That's the missing piece of this conspiracy, if it is one, that I don't know how this team was assembled, because it definitely wasn't the players that fit the best together.
I think we often ascribe a lot more intelligence and savvy to the machinations of these guys than they probably do. That's why it's kind of silly to label people who work in sports as geniuses. These are just guys who've hung around the sport. Or just rich guys sometimes.
A lot of it's just super rich guys. Yeah.
I think there's something to there's a mixture. For this year, it's hard, but I think the teams are basically your Q rating, how famous you are, mixed with how good you are, and that's probably why Kevin Love's on there, because he's
Keldon Johnson would like a word,
but he isn't good, so it doesn't make sense. But there's also nobody who wants to play this year because you got to go to Tokyo in a pandemic, and the Olympic Village ain't going to be what it usually is because you're not going to go to that 15 person orgy with the synchronized swimming team like you used to be able to do.
And Chuck, have you seen they've put in anti-sex beds in Olympic Village?
That's ungodly. That's a front. So, yeah, you know, it used to be you would just catch chlamydia there. Now you could catch COVID. It's a different game. I would imagine that's probably why you're not getting volunteer. Also, the NBA season's been terrible for people. Like half of the league is injured.
I mean, they're also depending
the
on
stars.
like Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton to show up like after the games are over. So Zach LaVine,
They were supposed to have all of the Suns.
Zach LaVine just like got taken out for COVID again, or like a health and safety, and maybe he's going to show up later.
He also sucks.
He was really good in that Spain game. Maybe he'll provide some of that offensive spark. But I mean, the team doesn't fit. The inclusion of Keldon Johnson, yes, they'll always put a spur on the team, it seems like. But like that's basically he's a glue guy. Like he's a guy that like the best lineup
handling.
they throw out there. Well, they need a dribbler. That's
like,
the weirdest
where's
part.
Ja? Where's Trey? Where's like
they're tweeting about it.
Although Ja has claimed his tweet that was specifically about it. If you didn't ask me earlier, don't ask me now. He claimed that was about something different.
He got hacked.
Yeah.
It's probably some girl back then. They didn't want me. Now I'm hot.
All right. We have a final question.
Okay.
And I dispute the existence of the person asking this question, but I'm going to read it anyways. Conchitty420 asks, how many points would Jay Crowder have to score in Game 7 to win Finals MVP? Keith, for no reason at all, I'm going to let you go first again.
Well, I want to know what you guys think. How many points would Jay Crowder
in the
have to
Googleplexes
score?
because he's
like
having
100?
a brutal series. I think he's been their worst offender by many orders of magnitude.
So if Jay Crowder scores 100 points in Game 7, presumably
I think
that
we'd
means
all
the
just
Suns win, and he does he win Finals MVP?
No.
No.
He scored 100 points in a Game 7 of the Finals, and he's not Finals MVP.
No, he's that game's MVP. He's had such a poopy finals. He's given like my Heat legend Jay Crowder. He's a Grizzly legend now. He's a Utah Jazz legend Jay Crowder to me now because
he needs 100. He needs to get that Wilt Chamberlain 100 points number. If he gets 97, he's not getting it. It's got to be a hundo.
He's not looked like himself.
If he
looks like who he is, yeah.
If he scores 100 in Game 7, he'll raise his scoring average from like 11, which it is now, presumably to like 22 or 23. So if he averages 23 points per game in the NBA Finals, and not only does that and scores 100 points in the deciding game, he couldn't win MVP. How about 85? 85 points wouldn't do it?
No. He's just
Jay Crowder.
Like he would need to it's the points, but he would probably need to fill the stat sheet. We'd need like 27 rebounds.
Andre Iguodala needed like 11 points in an entire series.
Andre Iguodala shot 35% from the free throw line and averaged 10 points per game.
Andre
he was the most important player.
Andre Iguodala and Mitch Richmond have ruined every NBA basketball argument till the end of time.
They were so mad at Steph for having one bad shooting game.
One.
Now I'm worried about Chris Middleton's game too. Really worried about it.
Giannis gets it. If Giannis goes, let's say
Giannis is doing all this, and his leg looked like a satyr or like a flamingo's leg 10 days ago. Like it was inverted.
The aliens in Contact.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and that's the legs he's jumped off of to block Ayton shot and dunk on that last.
Really, I did not know.
Yeah,
that.
He is like a Greek god.
So Giannis is going to probably win or lose unless Booker
has to go.
If
40
Booker goes 40, if he goes 40, 40, 40, 40.
Oh, yeah, he's got it.
If the Suns win, Booker gets. It's not there. Yeah. There is no chance of Chris Paul getting it.
No,
Chris Paul. He could do the next two. If Chris, I love this debate. If he could, it's hilarious. If Chris Paul does what he did in Game 1, the next 2 games,
Yeah.
then the recency bias, I think.
And if
gives us
Devin
it.
Booker does another game 3,
Well, even if he does like a 25-point game, like if he's not like on fire, you're going to give it to Chris Paul because the narrative will be Chris Paul led the team.
If Chris Paul in game 7 goes for 40 points, no turnovers, Devin Booker has a bad game, and Jay Crowder does not score 85 points, I think Chris Paul, definitely going to win that MVP.
I'm still going with my Pat Connaughton MVP. I think we still have a chance. Those shooting splits just
he's so good now.
Scream Iguodala.
Should he be playing over PJ Tucker?
Yes, you should not be playing PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker, I know he's trying as hard as he can, but he's getting annihilated.
He's
getting annihilated.
You can't afford to have a non-scorer out there when there's no one perfect for him to guard in this series. And so it's like
he's getting stuck on Devin Booker a lot.
I think they got to go offense.
Yeah.
I mean, the Suns, that's the whole thing. The Suns were not able to stop the Bucks last game. The Bucks scored 79 points in the second and third quarters. They had a 21-minute stretch where they had a 180 offensive rating.
It's an amazing series, and honestly, it's been like, if you look at the statistics, it seems like when you simulated a season in a video game, it doesn't seem believable. Like,
there's a lot of like the feelings where, you were playing NBA 2K and like you're hitting every shot and then weird comebacks. Like it doesn't make sense. That Suns shooting split from last game.
You'll look at every player. You'll be like, man, Ayton had a rough game. And you'll look at the stats. You're like, he had like 20 points and 11 rebounds.
Right.
Like, you're looking for bad games from guys, and it's hard to find them statistically.
They didn't have many turnovers, and they made all their shots.
Yeah,
it's nuts.
I think like the amount that we've talked about this is like speaks to the quality of this finals. Like, where would you?
I just really want it to go 7 so that it can take its proper place as an all-time finals. Because even if it goes 6, it really is an all-time finals, but it won't be remembered that way.
Yeah, it'll kind of feel like Dirk's 2011 or like that kind of finals.
This is the finals I've watched the closest since the 2018 finals. What everyone else calls the good finals are the ones I don't watch as closely.
Yeah, I think I know like we'll always kind of like it's recency bias again, but like this feels the basketball has felt incredible. And
finals.
And the only thing that like kind of confuses me is the Suns kind of going away from that like beautiful, like they were 2014 Spurs in the first 2 games. They were moving the ball so much, they were passing it everywhere, and that's kind of disappeared.
It's over.
I don't know if that's a byproduct. I don't know if that's a byproduct of the Bucks figuring it out, or like the pressure leading Devin Booker to think he's got to take every shot. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, those were our listener submitted questions. Oh, and I got to say, I'm at the 2019 finals. I was very invested in our Marc Gasol Raptor finals. Those are the ones I watched closely. Anyway, those were our listener submitted questions, the croissant questionnaire. If you want to submit your own question to be answered on air or as part of one of our bonus episodes over at patreon.com, you got to join our Patreon. That's patreon.com/fastbreak breakfast. Thanks to Curtis Moore, our newest Patreon supporter. Appreciate you joining the group. If you want access to the bonus content, if you want to play along with the mini games we do all year round, if you want to get in on that Slack where we talk about everything around the clock, you do that at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. Help us out. Patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. All right, now time for the awards segment of the program, the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award, given to the worst performance in a box score.
There can't be any.
Not a lot to choose from, but we have an easy winner. There only 2 games since we last met? 3?
Yeah.
There weren't.
Has there been a bad Drew game to throw in here?
There weren't. Oh, there was an epic Drew game since the last full show last Monday night. Our nominees are, these are all from game 4. Jay Crowder was 3 for 10. 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, but he did stuff the stat sheet. 3 steals, 3 blocks, 3 turnovers, 5 personal fouls. Drew Holiday, 4 for 20. 4 for 20.
Hey, now.
7 assists, 7 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 turnover, 1 personal foul. And Chris Paul, 5 for 13, 10 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, 5 turnovers, 4 personal fouls. So, yes, we had a solid winner. Those other two, Jay Crowder, Chris Paul, not our normal eye shot material.
Super cute.
Jake, Drew Holiday with a natural 4 for 20. You are this week's winner of the International Stackhouse of Pancakes Award. Par fadeaway, gentlemen. What things are you looking forward to in the coming week or weeks? Or what have you gotten involved with?
Channeling all my energy.
Yes, John.
Into a Suns win, followed by a Bucks win. Give me 7 games of this. That's all I ask. I ask very little. I ask not to watch Space Jam 2, and I ask for a 7-game series so that the best playoffs of my lifetime can continue its legendary pace.
It's lit. I'm still doing Rubik's Cubes. I solved this one twice during the show. You guys haven't noticed I've been looking down a lot.
Pretty good. Not only did you solve it during the show, I didn't even notice you were looking down. That's like pitching. That's more than a no-hitter. That's a complete game. That's a perfect.
Yeah, I'm getting to the place where I know where I can take a minute and a half. I'm down to a minute.
It's when 10. I start talking. I understand.
Yeah. I was like, all right, I'm not going to. Keith and John are talking about Vorp or something. I'm going to go ahead and like do my Rube.
So I know what you're doing. You're saying Pat Connaughton, and then you look down at the Rubik's Cube.
Right.
You're feeding us. Very
you guys
well
got
done.
me.
Well played. Well played.
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to. Once this series ends, be it in Game 6 or in Game 7, then it is the glorious offseason. And we're already getting little snippets. We're already getting little pieces, little
take a whiff.
Will Barton opting out of his deal. Why in the world? But now it's like, oh, there's another free agent on the market. Okay. Rumors of Kyle Lowry considering signing with the Pelicans. I eat it up. Give me the offseason rumor mill, and then we'll get this stuff. It's going to happen so quickly. It's mere weeks away when the floodgates open. I love it. I love it even more. Actually, I normally love it more than the finals, but honestly, this finals has been really good. Yeah, it's been too good. Also, I might need to rewatch No Sudden Move again before HBO Max takes it away from me. That's
Benicio del Toro looking fat and happy, baby.
I'll watch another HBO Max movie twice before I even try Space Jam 2.
Brendan Fraser channeling Orson Welles from Touch of Evil. What more can you ask for?
If you watch movies in the 90s and you haven't seen No Sudden Move, you owe it to yourself to see Brendan Fraser.
Encino Man ate one of those brontosaurus steaks. It's the only thing.
Yeah, it is eye-opening. Anyway, if you want to support our show, do that, like we said, at patreon.com/fastbreakbreakfast. If you're using SeatGeek.com, use that promo code FastBreakBreak. Follow us on Twitter, FastBreakBreak. Check us out on YouTube. We've been posting some video episodes over there. You guys are the best.
Hey, don't forget, leave a 5-star review. We haven't done that in a while. Do that on Apple.
Why aren't you writing 5-star reviews, listener?
Listen, listener. 5 stars. If you're not listeners, if you're not giving us Patreon cash, go and do us a favor. Pull out your phone right now and write us a 5-star review.
Very
do
true.
it.
If you're freeloading over there and you haven't even written a review, which costs you no money,
just pick up the phone, baby.
Chuck's getting his nuts cut. Keith and I have to go to Vegas.
It's true.
Do it for us.
Those are expensive.
We need those
gambles.
ratings to pay the doctors. I don't know.
I lost.
One day
you guys are the best. Thanks for listening. And remember, breakfast is the most important thing.
Okay, I got to be up at 4 a.m. I love you.
Goodbye.
All right, see you guys.